Sandra, welcome to another episode of Asexualise, my asexual life. This is the place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual. I share my asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, hit that great big subscribe button right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon so you get notified of every time I go live right now or post a new video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you're finding the content useful, helpful, insightful in any way, shape or form, or I just want to give this channel some love. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. So in a moment, I'm going to be reviewing the movie Sliding Doors. But first, if you didn't know who I am, I'm Sandra Bellamy, and this is my awesome Asexual Perspectives book, or should I say awesome Asexual Perspectives book, because it's got 47 real-life asexual stories in there. And I'm also the author of Fibromyalgia Self-Help Handbook, which is how to live more happily, have more energy and have less pain. Even if you don't have fibro, you'll still find a lot of the techniques in this book very, very helpful. So check out the links down below and I will crack on with this movie review. Now, as you know, I'm asexual. If you didn't know what that means, if you're new to this channel, it means I'm of the asexual orientation, which is known as asexuality. So the sexual orientation is asexuality. Sexuality together, or someone who is part of the asexuality spectrum, is known as an asexual person. A means absence of sexual attraction. A and sexual put together as one word, right? So I look for movies that don't have sex in it. I'm not interested in sex personally. I'm sex repulsed asexual. Doesn't do anything for me. Not exciting. Not interested. Yes, I've had it before. Yes, I've had good sex. Yes, I've had bad sex. I'm really just not interested in sex, right? I did it in the past because I felt I had to, as part of a normal relationship, as to what society dictates to you, you should be doing, right? But I'm really not interested in it. I'm quite happy about it. So, I tend to review movies on this channel that don't have any sex in them, right? And I watch a lot of movies, and I do love them. And this was a movie I saw years ago, Sliding Doors. Now, I usually watch a lot of modern movies or movies that have been done in the last 5 or 10 years. This one, I don't even know when it was released, but it seems quite a while ago. Anyway, this is certificate 15. It does not say on the back that it has any sex in it, right? Does not say certificate 15. See, nothing that says about sex on there, right? Usually it comes with a warning about include sex. And as you can see from the back cover, there's nothing to do with sex on there, right? They just look like they're having nice chats, these people. Do you know what I mean? So it's very interesting. Nothing written in there, right? So I've always loved this film, Sliding Doors. I couldn't remember all of the film. Just I remember the concept was amazing and I really, really liked it. Right? So this film is very intriguing and interesting, because it's got Gwyneth Paltrow in. So if you watch the Iron Man movies, for example, Gwyneth Paltrow plays Iron Man's love interest, who later becomes his fiance. And anyway, yes, so she's really good at it. And the film is incredible, and I love it. I have to say this film does have sex in it, although you don't see any full naked bodies in it, right? You see women in a revealing negligee. You see expressions of sex, expressions of orgasm, but they're not showing you really explicit body details. You're not seeing real full body nudity. So it's something to be grateful for. But obviously the movie does have quite a bit of sex in it, which, yeah. I don't usually watch movies with sex. However, because they're not really showing any full nudity, that does help me a lot. So anyway, this film I still believe is worth watching, and this is why. So in this movie, Gwyneth Paltrow plays a double part, hence why there's 2 heads on this cover for this DVD box. And it's a very intriguing movie, because what happens, this film is all about what happens if you miss a train, basically, and how your life can change compared to whether you get a train on time or you don't. It might sound a very simple concept, but it's actually very, very interesting, because it's basically saying in anything in your life, if you make a different decision at that point in time, it can change your whole life to a completely new life. And in some ways, it's talking about opportunities. Like if an opportunity is there, go and grab it and don't be too hesitant because you can miss out. So what happens is Gwyneth Paltrow plays this Helen, I think she plays. Yeah, Helen, who is basically a publicist. Now, Helen goes to get this train and you see her miss her train, right? Then you see the camera back up Helen on the train station and you see her shoot forward quicker and just jump on the train. And so this is how the movie starts off, and then it splits into like this parallel lives that she could have taken depending on whether she caught this train or she didn't catch this train, right? And I always love movies that make you think like this. I always love movies that call into question, like, what if you did make a different decision that day? What if you decide to go left instead of right? What if you decided to go over that mountain rather than under that waterfall? What if you decided just to talk to that one person today? What if you decide to just smile at that person? What if, you know? What ifs can be a bad thing, negative thing you can think, and what ifs can be a good thing, right? So it's kind of like when opportunities come your way, what are you going to do? And this shows her two different lives in parallel. It's very cleverly done, very cleverly done. So when she catches the train on time, she meets this guy. She's got a husband she's married to. I believe it. Is she married? I'm trying to remember if she's married now. Anyway, she's with this guy that she lives with. Maybe she's not married to him. I think she is. Anyway, she's with this guy that she lives with. And basically, when she catches the train on time, she meets this other guy on the train who's very charismatic. He starts talking and all she's bothered about is reading her book. Because at this point, she's got a guy. She's not thinking about being with another guy. She just wants to get on the train, have some peace and quiet before she goes home. And this guy will not leave her alone, right? You could tell he really fancied her and liked her. And so anyway, she goes home because she caught the train and she catches a guy in bed with another woman having sex. This is where the sex comes into it. And so she's absolutely disgusted with him and she leaves him, and then she ends up staying at her best friend's house, right? And she ends up meeting with the guy she met on the train. She ends up meeting him in like a local bar place, and they get talking and they end up being friends and becoming romantically interested in each other. And this plays out through the movie, but her ex wants to get her back and tries to change her mind. And there are spoilers here. And what happens, well, as he tries to change her mind, you find out he's still been seeing the other woman, and she finds that out, and so she leaves him for good, right? In the one where she misses the train, so the other parallel life that's happening, she doesn't find him in bed with another woman. He covers the whole things up. He tries to make her out she's the delusional one because she sees two glasses. There's two glasses or that he's there because he's been having wine with this woman he's been having sex and affair with. There's two glasses of wine, and he shoves the wine glasses in the basket, the laundry basket, and there's an earring or something he's covering up. And he's a writer and he's working on a book, and he's been making excuses that he's not been able to get this novel done. That he needs, she's got to go out to work basically to pay for him staying at home writing his book, while he actually goes to the library. He's really having sex with this other woman. So he's leading a double life, and she's working all hours to make ends meet so he can basically have an affair with a woman. And so it's just very destroying. It goes on for some time, the affair, before she ever finds out. Right? So in a way, she wastes all this time of her life with a guy that's been cheating on her while she's working all hours to make ends meet to help him out with his book that he's not really ever going to finish because it's just a ploy. And so it's very, 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 very interesting. And when she's caught the train, the earlier one, she's met this guy. She found out he was having this affair. She changes and she has her hair cut short and she starts to become a self-employed publicist, and her life goes from strength to strength. But when she doesn't realise that he's had an affair, she does eventually find out, but it's not to the very, very end and she ends up in hospital in the end as well. And when she ends up in hospital, she ends up in hospital both times, but one is where she's left the guy and got the new guy in her life by her side. The other one is where he has come into the hospital, and she had the accident just after she found out that he'd had the affair. She fell down the stairs, I think. So she has to go in the hospital. She has to ask him to leave and never come back, and she's basically cut up, you know. So it's very, very kind of dramatic, very emotional movie, very moving movie. And there's a twist at the end that the new guy in her life, is actually still married to his wife. He's getting divorced, but he's still married to his wife, but he's still acting like they're a couple. And in the end, you find out, I'm going to tell you the very ending now, you find out that he's just pretending he's still in love with his wife that he's getting divorced from, for the sake of his mother, who's got Alzheimer's or something, or got very poorly in hospital, and they don't want to upset her. But really the marriage is over. But I didn't like that bit, because at the end of the day, he was like kissing and holding his wife's hand outside the hospital, which I thought was totally unnecessary, because the mother wasn't even in, outside the hospital. They were inside the hospital. So that made no sense to me. I'm like, why is he kissing his wife? He's supposed to be keeping up a pretense for the mother if he's doing it outside and holding her hand. There's no need for it. So I wouldn't personally trust him. But I mean, anyway, she does trust him in the end. And basically, so in the end, when she did catch the train, she ends up understanding the bloke and thinking that's okay, and they live kind of happy ever after. But the other one, where she didn't know he was having an affair till the very end, she ended up in hospital. She had to tell him to go because she didn't want him in her life anymore. That was the end of it. She gets out of hospital and goes in the lift, and this guy is in the lift. The guy that she met in the other life is in the lift and says he was just visiting his mother in hospital, and they start talking. So they're still getting together in the end anyway, no matter which life she has. But just one of them, she found out sooner rather than later about the guy she was with affair. And so she'd already changed her life for the better, instead of wasting time with the wrong guy. So I thought it was a very powerful message. I thought the film was very, very good. Because there's affair, because this woman's having an affair with her bloke, there's a lot of sex scenes in it, with like, orgasms and stuff like that. And there is a scene where she's having sex with her new guy as well. And it's like, does it really have to be necessary? But for this storyline, I guess, because it's meant to be an affair, and that's the whole point of the movie, is that she gets a different life and a better life with another guy. Then I suppose if they're an affair, then sex is going to factor into it more. But the fact you didn't see any full body shots of nudity, I really liked that aspect, because it wasn't so, it was more facial expressions and like bed covers over the back of them and like a negligee, which, but it wasn't full on nudity. So that was respectful and better. So I was still able to watch the movie, even though I didn't like the orgasmic facial expressions and stuff. But I just thought I still thought the movie was good. I like the storyline. I love the idea of like different lives. It's like my life at the moment. I mean, I could do anything I wanted to do. I could completely change it if I wanted to, like the world's your oyster. You could move to a different location, get different friends. I've got really good friends, so I'm happy with those. Get a different job, get a different career, do more other channels, do more blog posts, like meet some other people. Like kind of the world's your oyster, really, isn't it? So it's kind of really, really interesting. I mean, if I had never found out I was asexual in 2014, I wouldn't be here on this channel right now. But I could have found out I was asexual beforehand, and maybe I would start the channel earlier, And what would have happened then? But maybe I wouldn't be so confident back then. Maybe I wouldn't have been so able to help others, because I wouldn't have had as much experience back then. I believe everything happens for a reason, even rubbish that goes on in your life. And sometimes just, excuse my language, shit happens, And so we have to shovel through the shit to get to the beautiful, beautiful, sparkling magic under the glistening snow. So yeah, I would recommend watching Sliding Doors. I think it is a good movie still to watch, and I think it's enjoyable. It's more of an older type of film. I think it's romantic. You know, I don't usually watch romantic movies, but I still think it's a good movie to watch, and I would recommend it. You know, I think it's a different movie to watch. Even though I'm sex repulsed, I could hack it because there's no full-on nudity scenes in it. You know, like, I liked it a lot, so I would recommend seeing it. Go and check it out if you haven't already. Don't forget, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that great big bell icon so you get notified of every time I go live like now, post a new video. Don't forget to, like I said, give this video a thumbs up. And yeah, I'd love to hear your comments, views. If you've watched Sliding Doors before, give me a message in the comments as to what you thought about it. Did you like it or not? And yeah, this is one movie that does have sex in it, but I think they do it in a much better way because, like I said, you don't really see full nudity, and it's more to do with facial expression. So anyway, I'd love to hear what you think. Don't forget, like I said, post the comments down below. Always love to hear from you. And until next time, embrace your quirky and each other's, and I'll see you on the next video or live stream. Take care and see you soon. Lots of love.